The council chamber floated in orbit around Terminus Prime, a neutral planet that no one owned. Inside the massive station, 17 different alien species sat in a circle. Their seats rose high above the center floor, where Ambassador Sumin Choi stood alone. She was human. She was also very small compared to most of the beings looking down at her. The insect-like Vreth clicked their mandibles together. The crystalline Lumerians glowed with cold blue light. The Idena, who could read minds, kept their thoughts to themselves. All of them stared at Sumin with the same expression. They were not happy. High Chancellor Vrek stood up from his seat. He was Vreth, which meant he looked like a giant mantis wearing armor. His voice came through a translator device. Ambassador Choi, the Galactic Council has made a decision about your species. Sumin kept her face calm. She had practiced this many times. We are listening, Chancellor. Humanity has existed in space for 300 years. In that time, you have spread to 20 star systems. You have built colonies without permission. You have refused to follow our laws. You have expanded too fast and too far. We have harmed no one, Sumin said quietly. That is not the point, Vrek continued. You are children playing with dangerous toys. You found faster-than-light travel through luck, not wisdom. Other species took thousands of years to reach the stars. They learned patience. They learned discipline. Humans learned nothing except how to move fast. A Lumerian representative spoke next. Its voice sounded like bells ringing. We have decided to help you. For your own good. Sumin felt her stomach turn cold. When powerful beings said they wanted to help, it never meant anything good. Here are our terms, Vrek said. Humanity will abandon all colonies beyond your home system. You will return to Earth, Mars, and your nearby stations. The Galactic Council will take custody of your species for 1,000 years. We will teach you properly. We will guide you. When you are ready, you may join us as equals. 1,000 years, Sumin repeated. Yes, 10 of your centuries. It will pass quickly. Sumin looked up at all the alien faces staring down at her. She thought about Earth. She thought about the colonies where children were being born who had never seen humanity's homeworld. She thought about her own daughter living on Tau Ceti 4. No, she said. The chamber went completely quiet. No one had expected that answer. No? Vrek leaned forward. You refuse? We refuse. Humanity governs itself. We will continue to govern ourselves. We have broken no galactic laws because we never agreed to follow them. We have attacked no one. We have stolen nothing. We simply exist, and you find that threatening. You are threatening, a cross warrior shouted. The cross looked like bears mixed with lizards. They were known for being fierce. You breed too fast. You spread too far. You will consume everything if we do not stop you. Sumin smiled, but it was not a happy smile. Then you understand why we will never surrender. Rek's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of anger. Then we will make you surrender. A containment fleet is gathering at the edge of your space. 847 warships from 12 different species. They will arrive at your border in 30 days. You will accept our protection or you will be forced to accept it. You mean you will attack us? We will do what is necessary. We are trying to save lives, Ambassador. Your people cannot win against us. Surrender now and no one dies. Refuse, and the responsibility for what happens is yours. Sumin stood very still. She wanted to scream. She wanted to cry. She wanted to tell them all exactly what they could do with their threats. But she was a diplomat. She had a job to do. The United Human Space Force will respond appropriately. You have 30 days to reconsider your threats. I suggest you use that time wisely. She turned and walked out of the chamber. Behind her, the aliens began talking all at once, their voices mixing together in a dozen different languages. Sumin made it to her ship before she started shaking. On Earth, in the military command center deep under Geneva, Admiral Hyeji Park stood at the head of a long table. Holograms of other admirals and generals surrounded her. They had all heard about the Council's ultimatum. "We have 94 warships," General Do-hyun said. "They have 847. The mathematics are simple. We lose." "We could evacuate," Admiral Minho suggested. "Take all our ships and run. Find somewhere beyond Council space." "And leave 20 colony worlds behind?" Hyeji shook her head. "Millions of people who can't evacuate in 30 days. "Then we fight and die," Do-hyun said flatly. "At least we die free." Hyeji looked at each face around the table. They were all good people, smart people. They had all reached the same conclusion. Humanity was going to have to choose between slavery and death. "There is a third option," she said quietly. Everyone looked at her. "We use her." The room went silent. They all knew what she meant. Admiral Minho spoke first. "She is not ready. We need another 10 years minimum." "We needed another 10 years," Hyeji corrected. "We do not have 10 years. We have 30 days. "Even if we deploy her early," another admiral said. "It is still one ship against 800. "Yes," Hyeji agreed. "But it is not just any ship. And we are not going to fight 800 ships. We are going to make them afraid to fight us." She pulled up a file on the hologram. The image showed a ship under construction in the Neptune orbital yards. The ship was enormous. It looked like a knife made of metal and anger. "The Indomitable Dawn," Hyeji said. "Humanity's first dreadnought. We have spent 15 years building her. We have put every new technology we have into her hull. The Council thinks they know what we can do. They have seen our cruisers and destroyers. They think they understand human capabilities." She smiled. "They have never seen her. They do not know she exists. And when they see her for the first time, they are going to realize they made a terrible mistake." "You want to send one ship?" Do-hyun asked. "I want to send the right ship, with the right captain." She opened another file. A man's face appeared. He was in his 40s with tired eyes and a strong jaw. "Captain Tae-ho Kim. He has been training with the Dawn for 3 years. He knows that ship better than anyone. He is smart, calm under pressure, and he understands something important." "What is that?" Minho asked. "That the best weapon is the one you never have to fire. Tae-ho is going to meet that alien fleet. He is going to show them what humanity has built, and he is going to make them blink first." Do-hyun leaned back in his chair. "You are gambling everything on psychological warfare." "Yes," Hyeji said. "Because if we actually fight 800 ships, we lose. But if we make them too afraid to fight, we win without firing a shot." The vote was called. It was not unanimous, but it was enough. Orders went out immediately. In the Neptune yards, crews began final preparations on the Indomitable Dawn. Captain Tae-ho Kim received his mission briefing. He had 30 days to reach the border. 30 days to prepare. 30 days before he would face the largest fleet humanity had ever seen, with one ship. Tae-ho read his orders 3 times. Then he looked out the window at the massive vessel being prepared for launch. She was beautiful. She was terrifying. She was hope. Captain Tae-ho Kim walked through the corridors of the Indomitable Dawn for the first time as her official commander. The ship smelled like new metal and fresh paint. Construction crews were still finishing the final touches, working around the clock to get her ready. The Dawn was 12 kilometers long. To put that in perspective, most human warships were less than 1 kilometer. She was a giant among giants, but size was not what made her special. Tae-ho found Dr. Borasong in the main engineering bay. She was standing under the primary reactor, checking readings on a data pad. When she saw him, she climbed down the ladder. "Captain," she said, "welcome aboard." "Dr. Song, is she ready?" Bora wiped grease from her hands. "She will be. We are running final tests now. The reactor is performing better than expected. Tell me about the reactor. Bora's eyes lit up. She loved talking about her work. Every other species in the galaxy uses fusion reactors. They heat hydrogen until it becomes plasma, then extract energy. It works. It is safe. It is predictable. But it is also limited. She pointed up at the massive sphere above them. We built something different. We call it a cascade fusion matrix. Instead of one reaction, we have hundreds happening at once, each one feeding energy into the next. It generates 3 times more power using half the fuel. Did we invent this? Taiho asked. Yes. The council species stopped innovating centuries ago. They refined what they had, but they stopped asking if there was a better way. We kept asking. Taiho nodded slowly. What else makes us different? Bora started walking, and Taiho followed. She led him through the ship, pointing out features as they went. The hull is a carbon nanotube mesh woven with memory metal alloys. It can absorb kinetic impacts and distribute the energy across the entire surface. A railgun round that would punch through normal armor just spreads out and dissipates. The metal remembers its shape and reforms. Can it stop everything? No. Enough concentrated fire will get through. But it will take a lot more than the Council expects. They reached the weapons deck. Commander Jinwoo Lee was already there, overseeing the installation of the last missile pods. He saluted when he saw Taiho. Captain, good timing. We just finished mounting the railguns. Taiho looked at the massive weapons. There were 6 of them, 3 on each side of the ship. Each barrel was 50 meters long. Specifications? He asked. Jinwoo pulled up a hologram. Railguns accelerate tungsten rounds using magnetic fields. No explosions, no chemical reactions, just pure kinetic energy. These rounds are the size of a small shuttle. When fired, they reach 0.4% of light speed in under 2 seconds. How much damage? A single round can cut a cruiser in half. The kinetic energy alone creates a shockwave that damages anything nearby, and we carry 200 rounds per gun. What else do we have? Jinwoo walked him through the arsenal. Plasma lance batteries that could melt through shields. Missile pods carrying smart warheads that could dodge point defense systems. Point defense lasers for incoming fire. And in the very front of the ship, something covered by a tarp. What is that? Taiho asked. Jinwoo and Bora exchanged looks. That, Bora said carefully, is the graviton pulse cannon. It is experimental. We have only test-fired it twice. What does it do? It manipulates gravity. It creates a focused pulse that distorts space-time itself. Anything caught in the beam experiences massive gravitational stress. Shields collapse, hull plating crumples. Even the space around the target becomes unstable. Taiho stared at the covered weapon. Why have we only fired it twice? Because it uses 1/3 of the ship's total power output for a single shot, and we are not entirely sure what would happen if we used it in a gravity well, like near a planet. Could it destroy a planet? No, probably not. We think. Taiho decided not to ask more questions about that particular weapon. Over the next 3 days, the crew arrived. 3,000 men and women from all over human space. They came from Earth, Mars, Titan, Europa, and a dozen colony worlds. They were veterans and rookies, scientists and soldiers, engineers and pilots. Lieutenant Nari Yoon was one of the last to arrive. She was young, barely 25, but she had the highest test scores in navigation and sensor operations. When she reported to the bridge, Taiho interviewed her personally. Lieutenant Yoon, why did you volunteer for this mission? Nari did not hesitate. Because someone has to stand up, sir. The Council thinks we are children. I want to show them they are wrong. This ship might not come back. I know, sir. But if we do not go, then humanity stops existing as a free species. That is worse than dying. Taiho approved her assignment. On the 7th day, the indomitable Dawn was ready. The crew ran final system checks. Every weapon was tested. Every sensor was calibrated. Every backup system was verified. Admiral Hyeji Park arrived to see them off. She met with Taiho in his ready room. "You understand your mission," she said. It was not a question. "I do. Reach the designated coordinates. Meet the Council fleet. Show them what we have built. Make them reconsider. Do not start a fight. You cannot win." "I will not start a fight at all," Taiho said. "But if they start one, I will finish it." Hyeji looked out the window at the stars. "I am sending you alone against 800 ships. Historians will either call me a genius or a fool. They will call you the admiral who saved humanity. I hope you are right." She left, and Taiho went to the bridge. The crew was already at their stations. Bora was in engineering. Jinwoo was at weapons. Nari was at the sensor station. Everyone was ready. "All stations report status," Taiho ordered. One by one, the reports came in, green across the board. "Helm, prepare for departure. Communications, maintain complete silence. No transmissions, no signals, nothing. I want this ship to be a ghost until we arrive." "Aye, Captain." The indomitable Dawn detached from the Neptune orbital yards. Her engines came to life, burning bright blue. She turned toward the edge of the solar system and began to accelerate. Behind her, Earth and all of humanity watched and hoped. The journey would take 30 days in faster-than-light travel, 30 days of silence, 30 days of preparation. Taiho spent that time getting to know his ship and crew. He walked the corridors every day, talking to people, learning names, understanding what made them tick. He reviewed battle plans with Jinwoo. He studied sensor data with Nari. He discussed power management with Bora, and every night, alone in his quarters, he looked at the tactical display showing the Council's fleet. 847 ships. 12 different species, thousands of years of combined military experience, against one human ship that had never fired a shot in anger. On the 29th day, the Dawn dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Epsilon Eridani system. This was the gateway to human space. This was where the Council had said they would wait. "Sensor sweep," Taiho ordered. Nari's fingers flew across her console. "Contact. Multiple contacts. I am reading—" "Oh. Report, Lieutenant. Sir, I count 847 ships. Exactly as they promised. They are in formation, spread across thousands of kilometers. Multiple ship classes. Energy signatures are active. They are ready for combat." "Are they targeting us?" "Yes, sir. Every ship in that fleet just locked weapons on us." Taiho sat very still in his command chair. This was the moment. Everything depended on what happened next. "All stop. Hold position. Power down all offensive weapon systems." The bridge crew turned to stare at him. "Sir?" Jinwoo asked carefully. "You want us to power down weapons?" "You heard me, Commander. Power down, but keep the shields at maximum and make sure our hull is displaying every sensor signature we have. I want them to see exactly what we are." "Aye, sir." The indomitable Dawn came to a complete stop. Her weapons went dark, but her shields blazed with energy, and her reactor was running at full power. She sat there in space, alone, facing an armada, and waited. High Chancellor Vrek stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Sovereign Mandible. The holographic display in front of him showed the human vessel that had just arrived. One ship. The humans had sent one ship. "Analysis," he ordered. Strategist Krell, his chief military advisor, worked quickly at the sensor station. Numbers scrolled across his screen. "Chancellor, the vessel is unprecedented. Length, 12 kilometers. Mass, estimated at 40 million tons. Power output is reading significantly higher than any ship in our fleet." "How much higher?" 3 times higher than our largest dreadnought, sir." Rek's mandibles clicked together slowly. That should not be possible. Check your sensors. There must be an error. Already verified, Chancellor. Multiple scans confirm the readings. The hull composition is also unusual. Our sensor beams are reflecting in abnormal patterns. I cannot get a clear reading on what it is made from. Another officer spoke up. Chancellor, we are detecting unusual energy signatures from their reactor. It does not match any known fusion design in our databases. Rex stared at the ship on his display. It was long and narrow, like a blade. It had no obvious weapons ports, but that meant nothing. Humans could hide things inside retractable panels. What are they doing? He asked. Nothing, sir. They stopped. They are just sitting there. Weapons are powered down, but shields are at maximum. They are not hailing us. They are not moving. They are not doing anything. That made Vrek more nervous than if they had been firing. He opened a channel to the other fleet commanders. 12 faces appeared on his screen, representing the 12 species that had contributed ships to this containment force. The Lumarian commander spoke first. Her voice was like crystal chimes. This is an insult. One ship. They mock us. Or they are very confident, the Idena commander said. The Idena were telepaths. They could sense emotions across distance. I am detecting no fear from that vessel. Only certainty. Certainty of what? Rek asked. I cannot tell, but it is absolute. Whatever they came here to do, they believe they will succeed. The Cross commander, a massive warrior named Groth, slammed his fist on his console. Then we attack. We overwhelm them with numbers. Show them their confidence is misplaced. Wait, Krell said sharply. Chancellor, consider the situation. Every species in this fleet has fought each other at some point. We know each other's ships. We know each other's weapons. We know each other's tactics, but humans? We have 300 years of data. That is nothing. We have no baseline for their maximum capabilities. He pulled up comparison charts. In 300 years, humans went from chemical rockets to faster-than-light travel, from primitive nuclear weapons to whatever is powering that ship. Every other species in this chamber took thousands of years to make those same advances. Humans did it in 3 centuries. What is your point? Rek demanded. My point is that we have no idea what that ship can do. They sent one vessel against 847. Either they are idiots, or they know something we do not. The Lumarian commander made a dismissive sound. You are afraid of a single ship. I am cautious about unknown variables, Krell corrected. There is a difference. While the commanders argued, a transmission came through. It was broadcast on all frequencies, sent to every ship in both fleets. Ambassador Sumin Choi appeared on their screens. She stood in front of an image of the human warship. My name is Sumin Choi. I speak for humanity. The vessel you see before you is the Indomitable Dawn. She represents humanity's answer to your ultimatum. We sent one ship because we believe in proportional responses. You brought 847 warships to threaten our homes. We brought one to remind you why that was a mistake. She paused, letting her words sink in. This is your opportunity to withdraw. We will not fire first. We will not seek conflict. But if you fire upon us, you will learn something about humanity that you should have learned before making threats. We do not lose wars. We simply refuse to accept the terms of defeat. Choose wisely. The transmission ended. Silence fell across the council fleet. Arrogant primitives, the Cross commander growled. I say we teach them humility. Vrek made a decision. We will probe their defenses. One ship will perform a close flyby. Active sensors only. No weapons. We will see how they react. He designated a Vreth cruiser for the task. The ship broke formation and accelerated toward the human vessel. As it approached, it activated its most powerful sensor array, sweeping the human ship with concentrated scanning beams. On the Indomitable Dawn, alarms went off. Captain, we are being scanned, Nari reported. Vreth cruiser approaching. High-intensity active sensors. They are trying to map our hull and internal systems. Taiho watched the approaching ship on his display. Do not power weapons. Bora, activate resonance protocol. In engineering, Bora smiled. She had been waiting for this. She activated a specific system built into the hull plating. The carbon nanotube mesh that covered the Dawn's hull had many properties. One of them was resonance. When hit by high-energy sensor beams, it could vibrate at specific frequencies. Bora had calculated exactly the right frequency. The Vreth cruiser's sensor beam hit the Dawn's hull. The mesh absorbed the energy, resonated, and reflected it back amplified by a factor of 10. On the Vreth cruiser, every sensor array exploded simultaneously. Displays shattered, circuit breakers tripped. The entire sensor section overloaded in a cascade failure. The cruiser went blind and deaf in an instant. It tumbled in space, emergency power barely keeping life support online. The human ship had not powered a single weapon. It had disabled a warship with its hull plating. "Recall that cruiser," Rek ordered. "Get a repair ship to it immediately." He stared at the human vessel. What else could it do? Captain Taiho opened a communication channel. "You attempted aggressive scanning. Our defensive systems responded automatically. Your ship is undamaged and will regain function within the hour. This was a warning. Do not mistake our restraint for weakness." 3 cross-destroyers suddenly broke formation. Groth had apparently decided to act without permission. The 3 ships accelerated directly toward the Dawn, their weapons charging. "Sir, 3 hostiles inbound," Nari called out. "Energy signatures spiking. They are preparing to fire." "Stupid," Taiho muttered. "Commander Jinwoo, they have made their choice. Non-lethal response. Target their engines only. Disable, do not destroy." "Aye, Captain. Targeting solutions locked." The indomitable Dawn moved for the first time. Her maneuvering thrusters fired, and the massive ship rotated with impossible grace. The memory metal actuators in her frame made her as nimble as a ship 1/10 her size. 3 rail guns swiveled and locked onto their targets. Fire. The tungsten rounds left the barrels at 41,000 kilometers per second. They crossed the distance to the cross-destroyers in less than 5 seconds. The rounds did not hit the ships directly. They passed within meters of the engine sections. The kinetic wake alone, the sheer displaced energy, tore the engine assemblies apart. Metal shredded. Fuel lines ruptured. The engines went dead. The 3 cross-destroyers went from attack speed to drifting hulks in the span of a heartbeat. Total engagement time, 6 seconds. "Targets disabled," Jinwoo reported. "Life support intact on all 3 vessels. No casualties detected." "Thank you, Commander. Lieutenant Yoon, send them a gift." Nari smiled and pressed a button. Every ship in the Council fleet received a data packet simultaneously. On their displays appeared detailed information, their exact coordinates, their shield frequencies, their structural weak points, and the precise firing solution needed to disable them. All 847 ships. The message was clear. "We can see all of you. We can hit all of you. We choose not to." Panic rippled through the Council fleet. Ships began repositioning. Formation coherence broke down. Some vessels moved forward, others backward, as different commanders reacted in different ways. "Chancellor," Krell said quietly, "we need to reconsider this engagement." "Explain." Krell pulled up statistical models. "Based on what we just observed, I estimate this human vessel could engage and disable between 40 and 60 of our ships before being overwhelmed by concentrated fire. But our casualties would be catastrophic. We would lose perhaps 200 ships total, maybe more." 200 ships? The Lumerian commander had been listening in. "Against one target?" "That assumes they have shown us everything they can do," Krell continued. "We have not seen their energy weapons. We have not seen their missiles. We have not seen whatever that massive weapon system is in their forward section. They disabled our ships with projectile weapons and hull plating. What happens when they use their real weapons? Rek felt something he had not felt in decades. Uncertainty. "Counselor Velnis," he said, addressing the Idena commander. "You can sense their emotions. What do you feel from that ship?" Velnis closed her eyes. After a moment, she spoke. "I feel 3,000 minds. They are afraid, as anyone would be. But underneath that fear is something else. Determination. They believe they are protecting their families. They believe they are right. And most concerning, Chancellor. They believe they will win. How can 3,000 believe they will defeat us? Because their captain believes it absolutely. And they trust him." On the bridge of the indomitable dawn, Taiho sat calmly in his chair. Jinwoo leaned close and whispered, "Sir, should we show them the graviton cannon?" "No," Taiho said quietly. "Let them wonder. The weapon they fear is always more powerful than the weapon they see." Ambassador Suman appeared again on all channels. "You have a choice. Retreat and report that humanity will not submit. Attack and face the consequences. Or choose a third option. Talk to us. Real dialogue between equals. The decision is yours." For the first time in galactic history, a council fleet faced a single opponent and did not know what to do. 6 hours passed. The council fleet held position. The indomitable dawn did not move. Both sides waited. On the Sovereign Mandible, High Chancellor Vrek was facing a crisis. His fleet commanders were arguing. Some wanted to attack immediately. Others wanted to retreat. A few wanted to negotiate. Nobody could agree. "This is insane," the cross commander Groth shouted over the communication channel. "We outnumber them 800 to 1. We are debating because of one ship." "One ship that has already disabled 4 of ours without even trying," strategist Krell pointed out. "Imagine what it could do if it actually tried." "You sound like a coward." "I sound like someone who understands mathematics. Let me show you something." Krell broadcast a simulation to all the commanders. It showed a battle scenario. The council fleet attacked. The human ship fought back. Red icons representing destroyed or disabled council vessels began multiplying rapidly. "This is my best estimate based on observed capabilities. We win eventually, we have the numbers, but we lose 217 ships. Maybe more. That is 25% casualties. And this assumes the human ship has no support, no reinforcements, and no hidden capabilities." "It is one ship," Groth insisted. "What hidden capabilities could possibly matter?" "That is exactly the question that should terrify you," Counselor Velnis said. The Idena telepath had been quiet until now. "We do not know. We have no intelligence. We are fighting blind." Vrek made a decision. "I will speak with the human captain directly. Open a channel." On the Dawn's bridge, Nari looked up. "Sir, incoming communication from the Vreth flagship. High Chancellor Vrek wishes to speak with you." "Put him through," Taiho said. The hologram of an insect-like alien appeared in front of Taiho. Vrek looked at the human captain carefully. He saw a middle-aged man in a military uniform. The human looked tired but calm. "Captain," Vrek said, "I am High Chancellor Vrek. I know who you are. I am Captain Taiho Kim. You have put me in a difficult position. You put yourself in this position when you threatened humanity," Taiho replied evenly. "We did not threaten. We offered guidance. Your species is young and reckless. We sought to protect you from yourselves. By enslaving us for 1,000 years? By teaching you patience and wisdom?" Taiho leaned forward slightly. "Chancellor, let me tell you something about humanity. We do not do patience very well. We do not wait for permission. We do not ask if something is possible before we try it, and we certainly do not bow to threats. You thought you could intimidate us into submission. You were wrong." You realize I could order my fleet to attack right now? Yes. And then we would find out exactly how many of your ships would survive. Would you like to run that experiment? Vrek's mandibles clicked. You are bluffing. You cannot defeat my entire fleet. You are probably right, Taiho admitted. Eventually, you would destroy this ship. But how many would I take with me? 50 ships? 100? 200? Are you willing to sacrifice that many just to prove a point? You speak as if you have already won. I speak as someone who has nothing to lose. Your people will go home when this is over. My people have nowhere else to go. This is our home. These are our colonies. We will defend them with everything we have. And Chancellor, you have only seen a fraction of what we have. That last part was a bluff, but Taiho delivered it with complete confidence. Vrek ended the communication without another word. Krell looked at his commander. He is either the greatest actor in the galaxy, or he genuinely believes he can win. What do you recommend? I recommend we reconsider this entire operation. Before Rek could respond, alarms went off. 3 more ships had broken formation. This time, they were Lumarian cruisers. They were not attacking the Dawn. They were leaving. Stop them, Vrek ordered. They are not responding, Chancellor. They are entering faster than light travel. They are gone. Within minutes, 5 more ships followed, then 10. The fleet was starting to fracture. Groth was furious. If you do not act now, we will lose control. Order the attack. Rek looked at his tactical display. His fleet was starting to panic. He needed to do something to restore order. He made a choice he would regret. All ships, advance formation. Close to firing range. Do not fire unless I give the order. This is a show of strength only. 200 ships began moving forward. They closed the distance to the Dawn, forming a tighter formation. It was meant to be intimidating. On the indomitable Dawn, alarms blared. Captain, 200 ships advancing, Nari called out. They are moving into weapons range. Are they powering weapons? Some are, sir. Not all. Taiho made a split-second decision. Bora, bring the graviton cannon online. Do not fire, but charge it. Let them see the energy signature. In engineering, Bora's hands flew across her controls. Charging graviton cannon. Time to full charge. 30 seconds. The Dawn's forward section began to glow with an eerie purple light. Energy readings spiked dramatically. Every sensor in the Council fleet detected it. What is that? Vrek demanded. Unknown energy signature, Krell reported. Power levels are... Chancellor, it is drawing 1/3 of their total reactor output. Whatever that weapon is, it is massive. Estimate of destructive capability? I have no frame of reference. I have never seen an energy signature like this. The purple glow grew brighter. Space around the Dawn's forward section began to shimmer like heat waves on a hot day. The very fabric of space-time was being distorted. Chancellor, Velnus said urgently, I am sensing something from the human crew. They are afraid, not of us. They are afraid of their own weapon. They do not know exactly what it will do. They have an untested weapon? Vrek felt ice in his veins. They have an untested weapon and they are willing to use it. Taiho opened communication again. His voice was broadcast to every ship. Council fleet, you are now within range of our primary weapon system. This is the graviton pulse cannon. It manipulates gravity directly. We have test-fired it twice in controlled conditions. We have never used it in combat. We do not know exactly what will happen if we fire it at your formation. But I can promise you this, it will be spectacular. He paused. I strongly suggest you do not make us find out. Groth made a decision without consulting anyone. His flagship's main guns opened fire on the Dawn. 3 massive plasma bolts lanced across space. They hit the Dawn's shields at full power. The shields blazed blue-white, absorbing the energy. The ship rocked slightly but held position. Shields at 87%, Nari reported. No structural damage. Return fire, Taiho ordered. Graviton cannon, single pulse. Target the empty space between their ships. I want a demonstration. Aye, Captain. Bora pressed the firing button. Reality screamed. A beam of purple-white energy erupted from the Dawn's forward section. It looked like someone had torn a hole in space itself. The beam crossed the distance in an instant and hit empty space right in the middle of the advancing Council formation. For a moment, nothing happened. Then space began to twist. A sphere of distorted gravity expanded from the impact point. Any ship within a kilometer of the center felt gravity suddenly increase to crushing levels. Shields collapsed like paper, hull plating crumpled, systems failed. But the Dawn had aimed carefully. The sphere expanded into empty space, not into the ships themselves. Every vessel felt the edge effects, the gravity fluctuations, the space-time distortions. But none were destroyed. They all got the message. The distortion faded after 10 seconds. Space returned to normal. But 20 ships were drifting, their systems temporarily disabled by the gravitational stress. The entire Council fleet came to a complete stop. Graviton cannon recharging, Bora reported. 45 seconds to next shot. Taiho broadcast again. That was a warning shot. The next one will not miss. I strongly recommend you reconsider your current course of action. On the Sovereign Mandible, Rex stared at his display in horror. That weapon had been aimed at empty space. If it had been aimed at his ships, Krell's voice was shaking. Chancellor, that weapon could destroy entire formations. If they fire into our fleet, we could lose hundreds of ships in seconds. How many ships do we need to sacrifice to destroy them? Rex asked. All of them, Krell said quietly. If they have more than a few shots, they could destroy all of us. Groth was shouting over the communications. They are bluffing. They cannot possibly have enough power for multiple shots. Are you willing to bet your life on that? Velnus asked. The Council fleet held position, not advancing, not retreating, frozen in indecision. Taiho sat in his command chair, watching the tactical display. His heart was pounding, his hands were steady. He looked calm on the outside. Inside, he was praying they would back down. Sir, Jinwoo said quietly, how many more shots can we actually fire? 2, Taiho whispered. Maybe 3. Then we are out of power. Should I tell the crew? Absolutely not. As far as anyone knows, we can do this all day. The bluff continued. Both sides waited. Something had to break. The standoff lasted another hour. Every minute felt like an eternity. On the Sovereign Mandible, High Chancellor Vrek was losing control. His commanders were arguing openly now. Some wanted immediate attack, others wanted immediate retreat. The fleet was on the edge of falling apart completely. Then Councillor Velnus did something unexpected. She opened a public channel that broadcast to both fleets, not just the commanders. I am Councillor Velnus of the Idena. I speak now not as a military commander, but as someone who seeks truth. I have listened to the thoughts and feelings across this fleet. I will share what I have found. She paused, gathering her words carefully. We are afraid. All of us. We are afraid because we encountered something we did not predict. We are used to knowing our enemies. We are used to understanding exactly what they can do. But humanity? They are unknown. They innovate too fast. They adapt too quickly. They refuse to follow patterns we understand. This is not helpful, Rex said sharply. Let me finish, Chancellor. We came here to contain the humans because they are different. But difference cannot be contained. It can only be understood or destroyed. I propose we choose understanding. They will not negotiate, Groth argued. They already refused. They refused to surrender, Velnus corrected. That is not the same thing. Captain Taiho, if you are listening, I ask you directly. Are you willing to negotiate if we acknowledge you as equals? On the Dawn's bridge, everyone looked at Taiho. He thought carefully before answering. Counselor Velness, humanity has never wanted war. We simply want to exist. We want our children to grow up free. We want to explore and build and create. If the Council is willing to treat us as partners instead of problems, then yes, we will negotiate. Chancellor Rek? Velness prompted. Rek's mandibles clicked rapidly. He was trapped. If he attacked now, he would lose hundreds of ships. If he retreated without negotiating, he would look weak. But if he negotiated, he would be admitting that humans were equals. Sometimes the only winning move is to accept that you did not win. I will consult with the Council government, Rek said finally. This fleet will hold position while I await instructions. It was not a retreat. It was not a surrender. But it was a step back. Krell leaned close to Rek and whispered, "That is the right choice, Chancellor. We can always fight later if necessary. But once we start fighting, we cannot stop." The communication channels went silent. Everyone waited. Hours passed. Behind the scenes, frantic communications flew between the fleet and the Council's central government thousands of light-years away. Debates raged. Political factions formed and dissolved. The Idena pushed for peace. The Lumerians wanted continued pressure. The Vreth were divided. The Cross wanted blood, but were outvoted. Finally, after 8 hours, a decision was reached. High Chancellor Rek contacted Captain Taiho directly. This time his tone was different, less aggressive, more cautious. Captain Taiho, the Galactic Council has reviewed the situation. We acknowledge that our initial assessment of humanity was incomplete. Your species has demonstrated capabilities that warrant reconsideration of our previous position. Taiho waited. There was more coming. The Council fleet will withdraw from human space. We will propose formal negotiations to establish proper diplomatic relations. These negotiations will treat humanity as a sovereign species, not as subjects requiring guidance. That is acceptable, Taiho said carefully. But I need your word, Chancellor. If we enter negotiations, there will be no more threats, no more ultimatums, no more fleets gathering at our borders. You have my word. As High Chancellor of the Council, I pledge that no military action will be taken against humanity while negotiations are ongoing. How long will negotiations take? That depends on both sides, but I estimate at least 1 standard year. Taiho nodded. Then we have an agreement. The Indomitable Dawn will remain here until your fleet has cleared human space. Once you are gone, I will return home, and my government will send proper diplomatic representatives. Agreed. Rek gave the order. The Council fleet began to withdraw. Ships broke formation in organized groups, each heading toward different faster-than-light jump points. It was a slow process. 847 ships could not leave at once. But they were leaving. On the Dawn's bridge, the crew started to relax. Nari was the first to smile. Then Jinwoo. Then others. They had done it. They had faced down the largest fleet in galactic history and won without starting a war. Taiho remained calm. Stay at battle stations until the last ship is gone. This is not over until they are all gone. Before the fleet could completely withdraw, something unexpected happened. Commander Groth of the Cross, whose ships had been disabled earlier, opened a private channel to Taiho. Human Captain, Commander Groth, you disabled my destroyers. You could have destroyed them. You could have killed my crews. Instead, you showed precision and mercy. I prefer not to kill when I do not have to. The Cross respects strength, but we respect honor more. You fought like a warrior but thought like a wise leader. You have earned something today. What is that? The respect of the Cross. We will remember this. If humanity ever needs allies, the Cross will remember how you fought today. The communication ended. Taiho was surprised. He had not expected that. Over the next hour, other commanders reached out. Not all of them. Some left in bitter silence, but enough contacted him to matter. The Lumarians acknowledged his strategic thinking. The Vreth admitted his tactics were sound. Even the Adena, who could read emotions, said they sensed honor in him. Slowly, the Council fleet disappeared. Jump by jump, ship by ship, they left human space. Finally, after 3 hours, the last ship jumped away. The indomitable Dawn was alone. "Sensor sweep," Taiho ordered. "All clear, Captain," Nari reported. "No contacts within detection range. They are gone." The bridge erupted in cheers. People were hugging, some were crying. They had survived. Taiho allowed himself a small smile. "Well done, everyone. Helm, set course for Earth. Best speed. Let us go home." The journey back took 30 days, the same as the journey out, but it felt different. The crew was relaxed now. They had faced the impossible and won. When the indomitable Dawn arrived at Earth orbit, she found a greeting party waiting. Every human ship in the fleet was there. 94 warships formed an honor guard. Admiral Hyeji Park herself came aboard. She found Taiho in his ready room, reviewing reports. "Captain Taiho," she said, "you did it." "We did it," he corrected. "The crew, the ship, all of us together. You faced 800 ships with one ship and talked them into leaving. Historians are already calling it the greatest bluff in military history." "It was not entirely a bluff," Taiho said. "We could have done serious damage." "But not enough to win. You knew that." "Yes, but they did not know that. And that made all the difference." Hyeji sat down across from him. "The Council has already sent preliminary negotiation terms. They want to establish formal embassies. They want trade agreements. They want technology sharing. Will we agree? Some of it. We are not giving them our weapons technology, obviously, but we can share other things: medical technology, agricultural techniques, entertainment, art. We have things they want, and they have things we want. So we are truly equals now? As equal as anyone can be in galactic politics. We earned our seat at the table, Taiho, and we earned it without firing a shot in anger." Taiho thought about that. "We fired several shots. Warning shots, demonstration shots. You never targeted to kill. That matters." Later that day, Ambassador Suman Choi addressed humanity. Her message was broadcast to every colony, every station, every ship. "Today, I can announce that humanity has secured its place among the stars. The Galactic Council came to impose their will on us. They left acknowledging us as equals. This was not achieved through conquest or destruction. It was achieved through strength, wisdom, and restraint." She paused, letting her words carry weight. The indomitable Dawn faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. Captain Taiho Kim and his crew showed the galaxy what humanity truly is. We are not aggressive conquerors. We are not naive innocents. We are survivors who refuse to bow to threats. We are innovators who think differently than everyone else. And we are warriors who fight only when we must, but fight brilliantly when we do. The speech continued, but Taiho did not listen to the rest. He was in his quarters, finally allowing himself to rest. Lieutenant Nari Yun knocked on his door. "Captain? May I come in?" "Of course, Lieutenant." She entered, looking uncertain. "I wanted to thank you, sir. You kept us safe. You got us home." "We all got each other home," Taiho said. "That is what crews do." "Do you think they will come back? The Council?" Taiho looked out the window at Earth, blue and beautiful below them. "Eventually, but not like this. Not as enemies. They will come as something they did not expect us to be." "What is that?" "Partners. Maybe even friends. Because today we taught them something important." "What did we teach them?" Taiho smiled. "That humans are not prey. We are not predators either. We are something the galaxy forgot could exist. We are the unknown variable, the wild card. And now the galaxy has to learn how to play with wild cards at the table. Nari smiled, too. I like that, sir. After she left, Taiho remained at the window. Below him, Earth continued its ancient rotation. Above him, stars beckoned with infinite possibilities. The indomitable Dawn had completed her first mission. She had faced the largest fleet humanity had ever seen. She had stared down certain destruction, and she had emerged victorious without starting a war. But Taiho knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had earned respect, but respect had to be maintained. The galaxy was watching now. Other species would test them. New challenges would come. In the Neptune shipyards, construction on the second dreadnought was already accelerating, and a third, and a fourth. Humanity would never again face the galaxy unprepared. The first sight of a human warship had made the alien fleet fall silent. The second sight would make them listen, and the third sight would make them understand. Humanity had arrived among the stars, and they were here to stay. Not as conquerors, not as subjects, but as equals who had earned their place through courage, innovation, and the simple refusal to surrender their freedom. The age of humanity among the stars had truly begun.